A dead husband, a forged signature, and over $100,000 that vanished into thin air. Today we're watching the sentencing of Lori Stellick, a woman who has already pleaded to a charge of fraud. Her defense has a bold strategy: paint her not as a criminal but as a tragic victim, controlled and manipulated by her abusive deceased husband, Raul Ruiz. They will bring witnesses, including her own daughter, to tell a harrowing story of abuse and coercion. But the prosecution has a trump card, a paper trail. They believe the money didn't just disappear, it landed squarely in Lori's bank account. This isn't just a hearing, it's a high-stakes battle of narratives. Will the judge see a battered woman forced into a crime, or a calculated thief using her dead husband as a shield? The final moments of this hearing will hinge on one witness whose testimony could cause the defense's entire case to implode.
Are you Ms. Stelzick?
Yes, ma'am.
You entered a plea on July 11th.
Before the first witness takes the stand, let's break down exactly what's at stake. Lori Stellick has applied for deferred adjudication. This is a crucial legal lifeline. If the judge grants it and she successfully completes a term of probation, the case against her is dismissed. It's like it never happened. No felony conviction on her record. However, the state is vehemently opposing this. They are recommending community supervision, which is regular probation, but it comes with a permanent felony conviction. The judge has already noted there was sufficient evidence to find her guilty. Now it all comes down to this hearing. The defense needs to convince Judge Boyd that she is not a threat to society and deserves this second chance. The prosecution is ready to argue that her crime was too calculated and harmful to just be wiped away.
You applied for deferred adjudication. There was sufficient evidence to find you guilty. According to the plea bargain agreement, punishment was to be assessed at 10 years in the prison. The state is opposing your application for deferred adjudication. They're recommending community supervision. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report? State?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objections to the PSI report? State?
None, Your Honor.
Defense?
None, Your Honor.
All right.
Some explanations, but it's substantially correct.
All right, thank you. Does anyone have any witnesses? State?
No, Your Honor.
Defense?
No.
You have witnesses? All right. I know that the state is opposed to her application for deferred adjudication, but state, since you have no witnesses, I'll proceed with the defense first. All right, please come forward. The first witness. All right, can you raise your, I'm sorry, defense, call your witness.
For the benefit of the court reporter, say your name out loud and spell your name.
Kimberly Tristan, Kimberly Tristan.
All right, can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, you can lower your hand. Defense?
Thank you. Do you know why you're here today? Why we called you? In relation to a lady named Lori Stellick or Lori Stellick Lewis. To tell the court, how long have you known Lori Stellick?
My whole life,
And how long?
38 years.
And describe the court for how you know her.
I am her niece.
Did you know her and when she was married to Mr. Ruiz?
Yeah.
And how many years did that relationship last?
Oh my gosh, 20 some odd? A long time.
And where is Ruiz at today?
So
Mhm.
she is passed away.
He died, right?
Yeah.
During the time that he was married to Ms. Stellick, like on Ms. Lori Stellick, did you describe the nature of that relationship as you saw it, as you grew up with it, between Lori and her husband?
I think it was dependent upon the day. Some days it was really wonderful and some days it was chaos. Really dependent upon what was going on, where everybody was, kind of where the headspace was. Obviously, as we got further along into it, it got more chaotic and part of the happiness.
Ruiz is not here today. You tell the judge described his personality.
The defense has just laid out its core argument through its first witness, a lifelong friend. The narrative is powerful and simple. Lori's deceased husband, Raul, was the true villain. According to the witness, he was the one who called all the shots. He was the one who profited from the fraudulent home sale, and he was the one who ultimately left Lori broke and unemployed. This testimony is designed to generate sympathy and frame Lori as another one of Raul's victims, coerced into a crime that she didn't even benefit from. If the judge believes this version of events, it dramatically increases her chances of getting deferred adjudication. But this story is based entirely on what the witness has been told by Lori. The prosecution is about to cross-examine her, and they're coming armed with questions about something the witness has never seen, the bank records.
And who called the shots to make the decisions in that family?
100%.
And we came down to doing things that may be in a gray area. Who had to do it?
Barney usually.
And are you familiar with the events that occurred that led to this plea that Ms. Stelznick entered?
Yeah.
This involves like fraud or the transaction of a home. Is that correct?
Yes.
For her signature, perhaps. You know Laurie, you know her family, and you've done very well. Did Laurie Stelznick in any way personally profit from that thing? In fact, as a result of being married to Mr. Rubis up to the time of his death, has Laurie Stelznick come out financially ahead or behind? As far as you know, is Laurie Stelznick today broke and unemployed?
Yes.
After these transactions took place, you see a great increase in her lifestyle, her spending, vacations, or anything?
No.
Who was the person that benefited financially from those transactions?
Well, he took it for a straight profit.
And who is this man you call Merle?
Oh,
Raul Ruiz,
yes.
the deceased husband. He's the one that kept the cash, kept the money, kept everything going. Is that your estimation?
Yes, beforehand. And then we were left with bills. Or she was left with bills.
And after he died, she had to pay all the bills off.
Yes.
You know that Laurie Stelznick, that's the way I know her, is applying for a deferred adjudication. It's a kind of a probation where if you complete it successfully, at the end of the day, the case can be dismissed. You have no conviction on your record. That's different from regular probation.
Okay.
If Judge Boyd sees fit to grant a request for deferred adjudication, knowing Laurie Stelznick, do you think she could abide by and go with all the conditions and rules imposed upon her by the court?
Yes.
And we ask the court to consider her application for deferred.
Absolutely.
At this time, I'll pass the witness. The state probably has questions. Don't we get?
State.
Thank you. So you're aware that the house from 215 Sadie Street was sold, correct?
Yes.
Do you know how much that house sold for?
151, I don't know.
119. Wow. $111,907.86.
111?
Mhm.
No, not $111.
How much?
111,000 maybe?
Thousand.
That's okay. I was like,
Okay.
oh gosh.
You testified now that Raul took all the money. Is that correct?
And there it is. The prosecution just poked a massive hole in the defense's narrative. The prosecutor's questions were surgically precise. He established that the money from the fraudulent sale went into an account owned by Lori and that she later transferred it to an account only she had access to. The witness, who had just painted a picture of the deceased husband taking all the profit, had to admit she's never actually seen any bank records. She sheepishly confesses that all her information came directly from Lori. In an instant, her entire testimony transforms from a statement of fact into secondhand hearsay. The prosecutor has effectively neutralized her, suggesting to the judge that this story of a penniless victim might be a complete fabrication crafted by the defendant herself.
Correct?
No, it's not that he took all of the money. It's that he took the profit from the money and the bills all stayed off. The house next door was paid off. His truck was paid off. The bills at the other house were paid off.
Have you looked at the actual bank records that were submitted to the court in this case?
No,
Have you looked at Lori Stelznick's bank records?
no,
Are you aware that the money from this case was transferred into an account that was owned by Ms. Stelznick and Public Family?
yes,
Are you aware that after that occurred, Ms. Stelznick transferred the money into an account that only she owned that Raul had no access to
after they separated?
before they separated?
You sure it was before they separated?
Or after?
If it was after they separated, probably.
And so how is it that Raul profited from the money when it all went into Lori's account and he had no access to it?
Because he took everything that was paid off and then everything that was at home. And then he still got cash as well. I do believe there's even a check that was made out to him afterwards for maybe $15,000. Not positive on that.
There's no evidence of that in this file. Are you aware of any evidence?
No.
So it's your testimony that Raul took all the money, even though the bank records show
Not say that
otherwise?
he took all of the money. I said that he took off and what he had profit up. His truck was paid off. The house next door was paid off. He was also collecting rent on the house next door. All of those things, yes, made him profit.
And, sorry, forgive me, the house and the truck, those aren't things that were alleged to have been stolen via fraud, right? We're talking about the house on 215 Sadie Street, right?
Mhm.
And the money, the profit from the house on 215 Sadie Street went to Ms. Stolzik, isn't that right?
If you have the records, then I'm sure that it did. I don't have access to her bank account, obviously.
Okay. And so what you're really testifying today is that you don't have any specific knowledge about what happened to the money from the house on 215 Sadie Street.
I know that she didn't take off and go to the Bahamas or anything like that. I can say that much. I know that it was a struggle and that he was the one that took care of everything. And when he left, that she was destitute and that was it. And then everything was kind of left on the pavement at that point.
Again, you haven't looked at the bank records yourself.
Mhm.
And where did you learn all this information? From Lori
I
herself?
live next door to her and see her daily.
So you learned it from Lori?
Mhm.
Very, very good. Pass it, please.
So I have, thank you.
All right, call your next witness.
Shelley,
Yeah.
call what's Shelley's last name? Shelley Ruiz, Your Honor.
Shelley Ruiz. Did you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Shelley Ruiz Turner,
Please spell it for the court reporter.
SHELLYRUIZTURNER.
Thank you. Now, okay, if I call you Shelley? Shelley, let me ask you, how do you know Ms. Stelzik
She's my mother.
and Raul Ruiz?
He is my father.
And when the family goes a family, there was yourself, your dad, Lori, anybody else?
I had an old
The defense is making a deeply emotional and risky play by putting Lori's own daughter on the stand. Her testimony is absolutely chilling. She describes her father, Raul, as a monstrously abusive figure who would throw her mother downstairs, threaten to kill them both, and even use her as a pawn to extort money. She claims he once threatened to kill her first just to make her mother watch and suffer. This is the defense's attempt to establish a legal concept known as duress, the idea that Lori didn't commit this crime out of greed, but because she was under an immense and constant threat of violence from her husband. This testimony is designed to shock the judge and reframe the fraud as an act of survival in an unbelievably toxic and dangerous environment.
older sibling, a brother, but he was probably 10 years older than me when I was little, so he moved out relatively young.
Okay. You know why Ms. Stelzik's in court today, right? She's asking the judge to consider her application for a deferred adjudication. Do you have a good working knowledge about the so-called fraud that went on? Ms. Stelzik has pled to in this court. There's some money involved, about $111,000. When this occurred, how old were you?
I believe I was almost 17, so 16, 17.
And did you have a good knowledge of what was going on with the family finances at that time?
They were both very open with me about that, so I would say for a 17-year-old, yeah.
Okay. So the house is sold, there's about $111,000 comes out of it. What happened to that money?
Well, my dad was really pushing to sell the house. I feel like he kind of knew he was going to leave us. So he wanted to get it done. He wanted to try to get all of those assets taken care of. And he would tell my mom, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, we're going to go tomorrow. And she's like, well, I'm busy. So he really just pushed her. And when the house sold, my dad liked to make everything under my mom's name. So he put it in an account, or well, they put it into an account together. And
After that gut-wrenching testimony from the defendant's daughter, the defense has reached its emotional peak. They have successfully painted the deceased husband, Raul, as a violent abuser who controlled every aspect of Lori's life. The daughter's claim that her father was the primary beneficiary of the fraudulent sale powerfully supports their narrative. For a moment, it seems like the defense has built a compelling case for leniency based on severe and prolonged domestic abuse. However, the prosecutor is about to shift the focus away from the emotional turmoil and back to the cold, hard facts of the financial crime. While the daughter's story is heartbreaking, she was a minor at the time and has already admitted she has no knowledge of the specific bank records, which is where the real truth of this case lies.
From there on out, I believe when my dad left, my mom said, well, I need money to live off of. I'm going to take this before you can take it all, and then just split it up in mediation through divorce. Well, my dad was the type to tell her, well, you're either going to give me money out of that account or I'm going to go and beat you pretty much.
This is important, I guess. During this relationship, they were married. Was this a controlling environment?
Very much so. Not just to her, to me, to everybody who was around us.
Was your own father abusive of you?
Yes.
Did he threaten you? Did he beat you?
He did strike me a couple times when I was a lot younger. I'm sorry. CPS did have to get involved because of him. And he would tell me, if you tell them anything, it's going to be a lot worse for you. And when I was about 17, he had hit me again, trying to defend my mother.
And why were you trying to defend your mother, Laura Stills? What was happening?
My dad would throw her downstairs. He would threaten her.
Threaten her how?
He would tell her, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill your kid. So I'm going to kill her first. You have to watch.
So your dad wanted to say to you, he would kill his wife, Laurie, and you had to watch, right?
He said he would kill me and then make her live with that and then kill her.
So the person after this money got there, you can't say today where this part went, where that part went, but who is the person benefited primarily from that money from the sale of that home?
So my father,
What did he do with that money? How did he use it?
he had a girlfriend and he said he wanted to make sure that she had somewhere to stay and that live. And he had paid off his truck and gave it to her, which was a truck that, was supposed to go to me for college. It was right around the corner. He would try all sorts of things to try to get me to go and live with him so she would be all alone with nothing.
The prosecution's cross-examination is all about subtly chipping away at the defense's narrative of a completely destitute woman. After the daughter's emotional testimony, the prosecutor calmly pivots to a simple question about property. He gets the daughter to admit that her mother, Lori, still owns another property next door where her aunt lives and pays bills. While it may not be a mansion, this fact directly contradicts the image the defense has been trying to sell of a woman left with absolutely nothing after her husband's death. It's a small detail, but it's significant. It plants a seed of doubt for the judge. If Lori wasn't completely broke, was she really as victimized and desperate as her defense claims? Now, a new witness is being called, and she is at the very center of the fraud itself.
He would bribe me with money. He would say, I'll buy you a new car. I'll buy you a house. But he did tell her one time, I need you to send me $11,000 right now. And she's like, I can't, I have bills to pay. And he said, well, if you don't send it to me, I'm going to go over there and I'll pull her out and you'll never see her again.
Referring to who?
To
You?
me, myself.
He'd pull you out of the house and Laura would never see you again. Your own dad told you that. If you didn't get $11,000 from whom?
From my mother. He tried to run me over with the vehicle a couple times. He busted down my door several times when my daughter was sleeping in the room, and it just never ended.
So take your father was not a loving and kind man towards his family.
He was my dad. He did have loving attributes. He was very good to me until about 14.
But
when
age
it just
14.
completely changed.
Let me just ask you a simple question, I suppose. Of all that money that came out of the sale of that house, who benefited the most from that money? Raul Ruiz or Lori, his wife?
Well,
And what money Lori still had got, he even threatened her to get that money, didn't he?
I didn't even think we could pay the electric bill when he first left. And yet he said we had all this money. I ended up having to almost quit school and get a job to support us. So I would say he benefited the majority.
You know you're your oath today, right?
Yes.
You wouldn't come here to lie to Judge Boyd, would you?
No.
That's all I have. I'll pass this to the state of Texas. He may have questions for you.
When you got that job, where did you work?
There's
What did you make?
maybe $9 an hour.
Do you have access to the bank records in this case?
No, I was a minor.
Are you aware as of whether Lori is currently employed?
She's not.
What did she do for a living before now?
She was a home health care provider for both of her parents.
Do you have any other employment?
Yeah,
This is a catastrophic, unmitigated disaster for the defense. Their own witness, Emma LaCour, has just confessed on the stand to being a party to the central crime. The document in question is an affidavit of heirship, a sworn legal statement used to establish who the rightful heirs of a deceased person are. Emma admits that Lori signed her name on this document, and she gave Lori permission to do it over the phone. She essentially admits to helping Lori lie on a legal document by pretending to be a witness in person when she was not. The defense attorney desperately tried to frame this as a naive mistake, but what he actually did was put a co-conspirator on the stand to testify for his client. This is a stunning miscalculation that has backfired in the most spectacular way imaginable.
she worked at East Central Independent School District.
As what?
I believe, at their nutrition department. They kind of bounced her around.
Has Lori owned any other properties?
And both owned, 2 separate properties other than their home, 3.
What became of those other properties?
I have no clue what happened to the one next to us. I think his son Justin resold it before we could get our probate done. The other property was Sadie. They sold that. And then the property right next to us, my aunt Kimberly, who just came up, she lives in it.
And so Lori still owns that property?
Yes.
You know where that property located?
It's either 9740 or 9720 WW.
Who resides there?
My aunt.
You pay rent for Lori?
Yeah, she'll pay our bills.
You know what the rent is?
It's just whatever our bills are for that month.
So you and I guess you live with Lauren right now?
Yeah, me and my husband support Lori for the most part.
And so the rent from that property just pays the outcome of those bills.
Yeah, so-
No further questions?
Has one reason been that Lori has not been employed is because when she goes out and try and get a job, they see his charges pending, in fact, turn her down without a It's not that she has not been trying.
The courtroom just witnessed a complete legal implosion. The prosecutor's cross-examination was a masterclass in trapping a witness. He forced Emma to confront the fact that she didn't just allow her signature to be forged, she allowed it to be placed on a document attesting to facts she didn't personally know, like the specific details of a death in Mexico. The questioning became so legally dangerous for the witness that Judge Boyd himself had to step in and stop it, warning her that she needed an attorney before she incriminated herself further. He essentially saved her from confessing to perjury on the stand. For the defense, the damage is irreversible. Their attempt to explain away the forgery has resulted in their own witness nearly being charged with a crime in open court. Their case is now in absolute ruins.
Yes,
Oh, no, she's tried and tried. We put our resumes everywhere.
and her source of income is dried up to the extent if we're out for you and your husband, she gets a street based condition. And as I tell Judge Boyd this morning,
She Lori helps everybody around her. She's never done anything bad in her life to anybody.
and you're asking Judge to consider her application for deferred adjudication this morning.
I am.
With their case imploding after that disastrous witness testimony, the defense makes a final desperate move. They are putting the defendant, Lori Stellick, on the stand. The judge immediately places her under oath and gives her a stark warning. The state will have a chance to cross-examine her. This is it. No more lawyers or witnesses speaking for her. The judge gives her the floor with a single pointed question: why should I give you deferred? This is her one and only chance to show remorse, to explain her actions, and to personally convince the judge that despite the fraud, the lies, and the damning evidence, she is worthy of the second chance that would keep her record clean. Her entire future now hangs on what she says in the next few moments.
That's all I have to show.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Call your next witness. All right, could you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Emma LaCour,
All right,
Spell that
defense.
last name for the court reporter.
LACOUR.
Emma, tell us, how old are you?
I am 43.
We won't tell anybody, it's okay. Can you tell the court, are you employed?
Yes, I am.
What kind of work?
It's over. The defendant just committed the cardinal sin of courtroom behavior, she argued with the judge. After Judge Boyd summarized the facts that she took proceeds from a property meant for children, Lori's immediate reaction was defiance. That's not true, she began, directly challenging the judge's findings and the very facts she had already entered a plea on. The judge's response was ice cold and immediate. Do you want a jury trial? This isn't a genuine question, it's a rhetorical hammer. It's the judge's way of saying the time to argue the facts is over. You already pleaded. I have all the information I need, and your defiance right now is making my decision very easy. By trying to relitigate the case from the stand, Lori just sealed her own fate.
You did.
I'm a barber.
And how long have you followed that profession?
Going on 10 years.
Prior to that, what kind of work were you doing?
Liquor store.
Have you been employed?
Hold on, hold on. Didn't hear it. Speak up louder.
Liquor store. Yes.
Have you employed most of your?
The hammer just came down. Judge Boyd completely rejected the defense's victim narrative and denied the request for deferred adjudication. He found Lori Stellick guilty and sentenced her to 10 years in prison, but suspended that sentence for 10 years of probation. This is not a slap on the wrist. She now has a permanent felony conviction. Crucially, he ordered her to pay full restitution to the victims, the real heirs who were cheated out of nearly $30,000. And then came the lecture. The judge made it clear he wasn't buying any excuses, telling her she needs to get a job, any job, because she has debts to pay. It's a firm rebuke of her entire defense, signaling that he saw her not as a victim, but as a perpetrator who now has to pay the price.
Life?
Yes.
You tell the court, where are you living?
I'm living in Corpus Christi.
And how long have you been in Corpus Christi, Texas?
I moved back to San Antonio. I think I moved back in 2011. I was here from Corpus and then I moved back. I came back to San Antonio, remember, back in 2011.
One of the reasons we are here is about a signature that was signed by Lori Stellick. Is actually supposed to be your signature.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
Can you explain to Judge Boyd what property that involved and what was going on at that time?
It was the house on Sadie Street. We're supposed to got on over the phone and do a signature. I didn't know that it was not valid that way, so it was done over the phone. My signature.
Who was handling this transaction on the phone? Was it a realtor? Was it a notary public?
I believe it was a notary.
And tell Judge Boyd, why would your signature be needed that day?
It was the signature sign that Lori had owned the house of the property.
And was your name anywhere on that property?
No.
And what was your signature needed for as far as you knew?
It's saying that she owned the property.
And you did that by phone, but in fact, you were not in front of a notary when it happened. You gave your permission telephonically, but not in person.
Correct.
But as far as the actual transaction taking place, you have no personal knowledge, do you?
No.
You were not there.
No.
You would explain to the court that's how Lori Stellick signed your
Yes,
signature.
my signature.
With your permission.
With my permission over the phone.
Did you know that was an illegal proceeding to do that?
No, no.
You know now that it has to be done in front of a notary if that's the fact.
Correct.
For identification to prove that you are that person.
Correct.
Thank you. I will now pass the witness.
Is that your signature?
No, not that one signature, no.
So it's your testimony today that Lori Stellick forged that signature?
She, fine, yes.
And she told you that it was a signature demonstrating that you own the house?
That I own the house?
I'm sorry, that Lori owned 213 Sadie?
Yes,
So you don't know who Romelia Ruiz is?
yes, I do.
Who is she?
That it is Rose mother
And where did she pass away?
in Mexico.
Where in Mexico?
Somewhere in, I can't even think, it's been so long.
Do you remember when in Mexico? You remember how?
Yes, it was right when the Firestone's tires had that issue with the tires blowing out and she was in a van with a bunch of people in it. A child was killed in that accident.
And did you know that Raul and Beatrice had another brother?
You know,
And so Lori, with your permission, put your signature on a legal document Is that correct?
Yes.
And that's this document that states that you know personally Romelia Ruiz and how she died and who her siblings are.
The only was B as far as I know.
And you now are testifying that you don't generally know where she died or when she died.
I know she died in Mexico. What year, I don't recall. I've had a lot of past people, you know, it's kind of hard to remember what year people passed, but
And this is an affidavit of heirship. This would be demonstrating that you were a close personal friend of this family in Mexico. Were you a close personal friend of Amelia?
I wasn't very close, but I knew who she was. I knew she came to the house.
So Lori asked you to lie in the document.
Please.
No, she didn't tell me to lie. She lying me? How am I lying to her? Or I don't understand, because is it showing that I'm lying if I know her mother? I don't know them personally. I knew.
All right, if there's going to be any further questioning of this witness, she's going to need an attorney.
No further questions, Your
No
Honor.
further questions, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. You're excused.
Thank you.
Any other witnesses?
You know, I believe there are other family members, friends in court that would come up and testify essentially to the same issues. Could just be reputation by Raul Ruiz.
Okay.
The relationship between them, the abusive nature of that relationship. With that, I think we'll just go ahead and call no more witnesses.
All right, Ms. Stelzick, you can resume in the middle. Is there anything you wish to say?
Lauren?
If you do, you're going to be placed under oath and the state will have a chance to cross-examination. All right, do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? You can lower your hand and state your name for the record, please.
Laurie Ruiz.
All right. So of course, here's the crux of the situation before anybody questions you or cross-examine you. The question is, why should I give you deferred? It appears from everything that I've read that you took the proceeds from property and those proceeds were to be distributed to children, and it was not.
That's not true. The documents aren't true. I
Do you want a jury trial?
have paperwork stating that I own.
Do you want a jury trial?
You do not want your child. We
No,
discussed this,
no.
right?
All right. All right. So this is what the court is going to do. The court is finding you guilty. The court will sentence you to 10 years in prison, suspended and probated for 10 years. There's restitution of $18,651.31 to Beatriz Vasquez, $18,651.31 to Patricio Ruiz. There's to be no contact with Beatriz Vasquez, Cecilia Ruiz, Patricio Ruiz. There's going to be proof of employment within 40 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider with minors. There's to be regular reporting and regular UAs. Ms. Stelzick, this is money that has to be paid back. And I know sometimes people do not, we can go off the record, Brenna. I know sometimes people don't want to work certain jobs because they think it's beneath them. But guess what? When you have children, when you owe money, you got to work whatever job is available because you got to pay people you owe and support whatever children you have. You understand? All right, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Here, Mr. Sawyer. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it? Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand? And because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand? All right, Ms. Stelzick, good luck to you. All right, you're welcome. Thank you, Mr. Sawyer.
Thank you for considering this morning. We appreciate it.
All right, you're welcome.
In the end, Lori Stellick's high-stakes gamble for a clean record failed spectacularly. She walked into court with a compelling story of being a victim of her abusive deceased husband, hoping for sympathy and a second chance. But the prosecution's focus on the financial paper trail, a disastrous witness who confessed to being part of the fraud, and Lori's own defiant words to the judge demolished her defense. Instead of walking away with a dismissed case, she leaves a convicted felon with a 10-year probation sentence hanging over her head and a legal obligation to pay back every dollar she helped take from the rightful heirs. The judge's decision was a clear message. Emotional stories cannot erase cold, hard facts. What did you think of the sentence? Was it fair, too harsh, or not harsh enough? Let us know in the comments, and be sure to subscribe for more in-depth courtroom breakdowns.